Comedy. Easy to learn, impossible to master. Comedy is a very subjective topic because everybody has their own definition of funny. Some think fart jokes are funny, and others think very obscure memes are funny. Some people crack up when they see babies fall over, and others need to see someone fail so bad to the point they cry in order to laugh. Smile, sweet, sister, sadistic. What is going on, laptops? Welcome back to Monitor Comics, the channel where we discuss the ins and outs of comic book making. If you're new to the channel, we touch on a huge range of topics like designing page layouts, writing compelling topics, and lettering your comics. I want to thank all of you guys for your continued support. We've recently passed 100 sub sandwiches, so I can't thank you enough. To celebrate, I'm going to start doing a comment of the day from each video. Today's comment of the day comes off of my last video, and on the screen you should see it now. Thank you for this nice comment. I'll be choosing another one to highlight in the next video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the comedy genre and how you can implement your sense of humor into your work. Stick around until the end of the video so you don't miss out on any more of my juicy secrets. So I just want to throw a disclaimer out there. There is no sure way to make sure everyone thinks your joke is funny. That's the harsh reality. When I think about comedy, I usually compare it with horror. While very different, they're both actually really similar. In horror, the delivery is everything. Your build-up is what scares people. Once you reveal the big spooky monster, people become numb to the anticipation. Similarly, comedy is all about the delivery. Before we jump into that though, comedy is defined as entertainment, consisting of jokes and satirical sketches, intended to make an audience laugh. So let's break this down even further. Humor is defined as the quality of being amusing in literature or speech. But what does it mean for something to be funny? All of these definitions kind of point towards each other with no real destination. This psychology article does a pretty good job of deconstructing comedy. I'll link the full article in my description, so you can read it yourself afterwards. But in layman's terms, something is deemed funny when it violates how we think the world should look, and it is benign in the sense that no real harm is done. There's a whole other theory called the surprise theory, which I won't really go into too much because it's a little dated, but basically with that theory, surprising someone is the biggest way to make someone laugh. Like, if you show someone an athlete injuring himself with the expectation that he's going to fail, then it won't be funny. But if you show that same video with the expectation that the athlete will succeed, and then he fails, it'll be more funny. Both the benign violation theory and the surprise theory do a good job of creating a blueprint for humor. But it isn't just black and white like that. I mean, I'm sure you all know someone who laughs when they're nervous. Humor is just a natural response, so it's hard to really study and decipher. I want to dive a little deeper into the different types of comedy so you can know which works best in which situation. I'm going to go over about 16 or so different types of jokes, but these will only scratch the surface. The first type of humor I'm going to mention is the anecdote. If you've studied high school literature, you're probably aware that an anecdote is just a personal story. To make this kind of story humorous, people will tend to use hyperbole or exaggeration to embellish a true event. Coming in at number 2 is risque humor. This type of humor can make light of sexual situations and potentially be seen as slightly offensive. Number 3 is going to be ridicule. For this one, think of SpongeBob, basically imitating or mocking someone with an exaggerated characterization. Basically imitating or mocking someone with an exaggerated characterization. For number 4, we have the morbid jokes. These are the edgy jokes young people make about wanting to die, that frankly make everyone feel uncomfortable. I wish I could say I never fell so low to tell these kinds of jokes growing up, but I was a part of my high school's goth boy clique. Sorry, Mom. At number 5, we have dry humor. These types of jokes are usually emotionless one-liners that criticize something in a straightforward manner. I personally love this type of humor because it just occurs naturally in social situations and tends to get a late response of laughter. Just think of Moist Critical if you've ever watched any of his videos. Number 6 is going to be farcical humor. These types of jokes satirize coincidences as if they were expected. This is the more straightforward kind of humor. Think about a skateboarder who attempts a really difficult trick, screws up midway through, almost killing himself, manages to save his move and nail it in the end. He then proceeds to act casually while saying, "See, that was easy." Coming in at number 7 is going to be highbrow comedy. Essentially, these jokes are related to culture specifics. So these jokes are really hard to land on a broad audience because only a whitelisted group will understand. Basically, imagine a chemist making a joke about chemistry. If you know the subject, you'll laugh at the meme. If you don't know chemistry, then well, I wasted 10 seconds of your time.
I'm deeply sorry. Sorry.
At number 8, we have hyperbole presentation. Similar to anecdotal comedy, you use hyperbole and exaggeration to make something in the present amusing. Number 9 is going to be ironic humor. I'm assuming most of my viewers know basic figurative language, so the idea of irony should be commonly known. Basically, you say something and mean the exact opposite. I hope you know basic literary devices, because you know what they say about assuming. An ass out of you and me. Coming in at number 10 is going to be juvenile humor. These are your pranks, fart jokes, and table topping. These are the kinds of delinquency you'll commonly see kids partaking in. At number 11, we have mordant humor. This type of comedy is very similar to morbid humor, but essentially stems from the term to bite. So, if you've read my Saturday AM one-shot, you may have seen my character Paris Stilton figuratively biting the head off of everyone she talked to. Some may say mordant humor is insulting, so it won't land with everyone. But think about it, we love roast sessions, don't we? In the number 12 spot, we have parody humor. This type of comedy is more well known and portrayed a lot in its own film category. I'm sure you've seen a parody movie at some point in your life, like Scary Movie or This Is Sparta. Parody works to poke fun at another author, artistic endeavor, or genre. Coming in at number 13 is going to be satirical comedy. Maybe you've heard of the satirical news site known as The Onion. Basically, that site aims to spread amusing fake news. Satire pokes fun at human weakness and specific aspects of society. At number 14, we have screwball humor. These are the kind of jokes where you turn to your best friend and you say, "Really?" Think about being at a funeral and someone starts singing Another One Bites the Dust. While this incorporates morbid humor, it's also an example of screwball humor because it's so left field and unexpected. Number 15 is going to be self-deprecating comedy. This type of comedy pokes fun at yourself. Look at the rapper Lil Dicky. He's always making fun of himself for being a scrawny little white man with a Jew fro and a baby. Enough said. Love that man. At 16, we have slapstick comedy, earning its name from two men beating each other with sticks. This physical humor pokes fun at violence and exaggerates bodily harm to evoke laughter. So let's recap. Humor is a natural response to something that violates how we see normal life without actually doing any real harm to us. There are many different forms of comedy, and many times multiple types are fused together to construct a complex joke. Comedy is impossible to really master because some jokes may land with some and some may miss with others. In my professional career, I dabbled with gag manga. On the screen right now, you should see some pages from my very first webcomic titled From Me Never to You. This story poked fun at the popular girl nerdy boy archetype by flipping it on its head. In this story, the popular girl was chasing after the nerdy guy. He keeps rejecting her because he thinks she's pranking him. When you incorporate jokes as the backbone of your story, it becomes what's known as a gag comic. While serious plot-driven stories could benefit from a bit of humor here and there, this is what's known as comic relief. Gag series only exist to get you to laugh. All of my published works so far have been gag series, with each panel shoving new jokes down your throat. Of course, not all of them land because the jokes are so in your face and oversaturated. Some are bound to fail. Typically, gag series don't tend to be super popular because, like I mentioned before, humor is subjective. You may get some super devoted fans who love your humor, and you may get some readers who say, "Wow, that was the dumbest thing I've ever read in my life. Who could ever like this?" That's the harsh reality of doing the gag genre. The trick for succeeding with gag comics is to stand behind your work no matter what. People are going to say your jokes suck or the plot makes no sense, but as a comedian as well as a writer, you'll have to keep delivering jokes every moment you get. People make light of comedy gag series, but it's hard work trying to make every stinking moment funny. Before I wrap this up, I want to recommend a few gag comedy series for you to check out if you want to further your studies. Is This a Zombie is one of my all-time favorite gag anime because it mixes slice-of-life rom-com elements with action, vampires, monsters fighting, maho shoujo, and romance. Yeah, it's really stupid, but it's good garbage. Watch this one. The manga's nothing compared to the animated version. My next two suggestions are very recent, one being Kaguya-sama Love is War and the other being Grand Blue. Very amusing. Grand Blue, on the other hand, appeals to the juvenile sense of humor and features ridiculous situations mixed with very exaggerated artwork. The characters are also in college and not high school, so this one's definitely different. If you found any value in this video, please drop this video a like. Please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more of my juicy content. Be sure to check out my previous videos so you can learn all my juicy secrets to creating comics. Like always, you can find the links to all my social media accounts down in the description below. Please share this video around so we can help other aspiring artists. Drop a comment down below on what you'd like to see next, and maybe I'll feature your comment in the next video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.